Hey, what's up, guys? Starting really late, super late, 5 o'clock on the dot, and wanted to start way earlier, but you know how I am. I'm an idiot, and you know things happen, and there's always something. So whatever, it is what it is. We're starting now. It's 5. It's late as fuck. I'm crashing. I'm tired. I really don't want to do it, but I mean, I wanted to do it earlier. I was like ready, and then something came up, so you know, that's what happens. That's literally just what happens. So you do it when you can, right? Do it tired. Yeah, just do it tired. Fuck it. Alright, so we have begin removal of certain logic associated with other client bool, and we stopped at line 131 in client. So let's just jump right over there, see what we were doing. And we have a caution comment which says, after removing some logic associated with other client bool, I don't think we need it at all. Review thoroughly before removing it. Okay, so let's just look at other client bool altogether and see what we got going on with it. Alright, so it's still a parameter, obviously. And then, right, so this assigns the other client bool arg. To be used as the var passed as the other client bool. So this is just where we assign the, this is where like we just determine what the assignment for this is going to be. Pass the dirt check. So this has nothing to do with whether or not it's necessary. Same in server, and yeah, it's like that's it for the mentioning of other client bool. So yeah, pretty much it's almost certain that other client bool is just not necessary whatsoever. Yeah, so we get to remove another dead section of code. Love it. Let's get rid of it. See you later. Alright, so dirt check, ID, dirt check other client bool, blah 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 blah. Okay, so it's gone, and let's just go through here and actually hold up, like wait a second, how is it not in the comment? Did we not have it in the comment? We just were slipping as far as updating our comments. So like when we added it as a parameter, we didn't add it in the comment. Shame on me. That's not good. Unless I already deleted it today, which I did not. So yep, we were caught lacking, but thankfully we were lacking was not necessary to have. Go. We have assigned other client bool. Var pass is the other client bool for later all, which is no longer going to be a thing. So we just bam out of here. Do we actually need this anymore? Yes, we still need all that, but we don't need the other client bool arg. We don't need it here. So just say goodbye, and let's check our extensions. Looks like our extensions are good to go today, which is great, fantastic. And let's just keep going here. We're just going through this, and we're gonna get rid of the mirror section here in server. So like lots of these sections in server and client that are mirrored to one another, I could probably just turn into a function. And you know, instead of having them in two places, just have them in one. But it's really not that important. Who cares? Don't worry about it. And yeah, so we're just looking at old features, test reminders, devlog. We don't need to worry about that. Some random guy messaged me. I don't know him. I don't know if I know a Daniel. It's probably some random person that I added. Daniel Owen. Hello, Joshua. How are you doing today? Today is I don't know what to say about today. Today I worked out on my new double end bag for the first time, so that was cool. Uh, it's actually really fucking hard, and I just felt like a fool doing it. Like it was not experience. And then towards the end, like I did for about 45 minutes to an hour, towards the end there I actually started to kind of get the hang of it. It's a very unique experience. It's definitely like beneficial. It's just like doing a different type of workout that you never do at first. You're not good at it and you're like, man, this really sucks. You can obviously feel that some to doing it. It was just like I could tell it was, you know, making me think differently, and my body using different muscle groups and stuff. So like it's not like working out on the heavy bag, which is what I usually do. It's like very just like raw and power. You know, it's an experience if you punch on the heavy bag. It was an experience. It was nice, like, but at the same time it wasn't. It's hard to describe. Anyway, nobody cares about that. But overall, my day has been kind of like all over. Not the best day. One of those days where like just kind of felt like I was spinning my wheels. Just like half of my days. I feel like that. Maybe it's just, it doesn't really matter how productive I am certain days. I just feel like I wasn't. All right, other client bool, dead dirt check code. Realize we don't send game data to other client, therefore we don't need to check it check for it in various places in dirt check. Be careful when removing. I don't think we need other client bool at all after further review. Yeah, we don't, so we got rid of it. So now it's gone. Now what we failed to do and what we should have done, because I don't do what I'm supposed to do because I'm dumb, I should have tested the code by a game test before I change anything else. But because I have the inability to, you know, follow the principles that I know that I should, I make mistakes and have to pay for them. And that is what life is. Life is where you make mistakes and then you go, oh man, don't do that again. And then, well, if you're smart, you don't. And then you get further and you make a different mistake and you're like, oh well, I'm not gonna make that mistake again. And then, you know, that's what life is. It's just, what mistake are you gonna make next? Don't do it again. And especially in computer programming, that is, as far as I know, I'm not a software engineer. I wouldn't call myself an engineer yet, because I really only know like Python, threading, server, client. Like, I'm not a software engineer. I have never worked at a job as a software engineer. I don't know how to integrate multiple systems together. I think that's one of the main things that you have to know to be considered a software engineer. You have to, like, you know, it's way bigger than just like knowing a programming language. You have to know, like, it's just so much you need to know to really be considered a software engineer. And yeah, so maybe one day I'll feel confident calling myself that, but for now I'm just a programmer. And it looks like everything is working, which is really cool. I'm happy. It looks like we got triple aces, so that's always good. And yep, everything is working. It's like rolling along here nice and smooth. There's no bugs that I can see, like nothing new, nothing strange. The behavior is what I have expected or learned to expect from this project in this current form. And there we go. So we did a playthrough. Everything worked. There were nothing bad happened. So that's cool. What did we do? We finished removal of other client bool code since we reviewed it and determined, I don't want to say discovered because I might be wrong, but I mean it seemed like it works fine without it, determined that it was dead code. Yep, That's it. That's all you gotta say. And this was 20509 and just 59, right? Tested via game test, and everything worked 100% as it did. All right, so next task. Well, let's see what our next task is going to be. We're going to have the things to do. We have the current issue as game object versus ID. So check other places, namely functions, where we use the game object or rough equivalent as a parameter when we could use the ID instead. This would also apply to like player object as well. As well, so search for that. So search for that too, man. Yeah. So let's do Control Shift F. We're gonna search for game object, and looky here, we got some, and I know that some places they are necessary. Like this is valid usage. We just refactored that, so I'm pretty confident in this situation. And there is another place where we use so this for the data transfer. So the data transfer function, it also is necessary. We determined that because it can't import game because game gets imported, imports change attribute list, and since you know you can't have circular import, what was I saying? And so yeah, you can't just use the ID because we have to get the object from somewhere, and I'm sure I could change that, and everything could be changed and fixed. Like you can do anything you want, but if it works, it works. Why would I change it? So we're just gonna keep going here through game object and looking through, see if there's any other functions. All right. So deck. This is all going to be data transfer function, isn't it? This is okay. Now this game, now this we could probably use the ID. Definitely. Well, we could definitely use the ID there. We wouldn't have to. So this actually looks like we might be able to fix this. So game one is game object 1 is you could do a game object 2 is you could do game object. So like since this is literally the game file where P1 game and P2 game are created, like of course we would be able to use P1 and like we should be able to use an ID instead, right? I mean, of course. This is like basic of basics right here, guys. So what? Yeah, definitely. Progression text assign function, so we call that in progression file, and yeah, so we can just like pass the ID instead. There's no reason to pass in the entire object since we already have access to it. Why import it to the function when we already have it imported locally, or whatever you want to call. I don't know the proper word for that, but progression text assign function. So we're going to let's just take a gander at it real quick. Let's take a look at it real quick and see what we got going on. Yeah, so like obviously we'll just pass. Okay, and I'm wondering like, yeah, sometimes we just use one game object. We're not. This is a way, the function that is, to set the progression text for one or both players, because lots of times you want it to display the same thing for them, for each player. But as you can see, there are cases wherein, you know, like, you just use one or two. So I was gonna say, like, we could just not pass anything at all, and then just say inside of the function always assign whatever progression text to P1 and P2. But obviously, as you can see, that is not always the case. So let's the way that we execute the function is not always the same. So we do need to have like them as arguments because they are variable. Yeah. So let's say game object 1 ID, and then we're just gonna change this to be game object 2 ID, and then we're gonna change all the instances of game object 1 to be game object 1 ID. How clever. Okay, so here we go. We're going to change this to game object to ID. Yep, so we're just going to do this. Okay, so that should be good to go there. That was a simple modification. So let's just run a quick test to verify that it works. And there I am. I'm really crashing right now, like I'm tired. I hope to go to bed early tonight. I woke up early last night before work because, you know, why not? Why not wake up like 30 minutes earlier than what you have to? Just for no reason. Because that's what I do. Not because I set my alarm 30 minutes early, just because I just woke up. There it was. Couldn't fall back to sleep. As tired as I was, apparently I wasn't tired enough to sleep. So 11 and 11, and everything is working. We changed, what was it? We changed the progression text function, so like I don't see any issues associated with it. So now we just pass that ID instead of the oh wait, how the fuck? Hold up. I'm actually like, wait a second. Wait, what? how does this work? How did that just work? Because I don't even assign the game object. Like, that's how terrible I am as a programmer, but also just like, oh, that's why, dumbass. Yeah, I'm tired. You know how it is. When you're tired, you make mistakes. Ho ho ho. Fucking idiot. It's like, oh, it's magic, man. It's just magically working. Haha. Can't get it right, brother. I just can't. Yeah. Just, you know, mistakes. Hey, mistakes, they happen, right? Life is, it's a one big mistake, isn't it? So yeah, we're just going through here doing the thing, and I could probably like automate this. I'm almost positive I could do this in a faster way. Like, there's a 99.9% surety to that statement that there's a better way to do this. But instead, I'm just doing it my way, which is actually kind of fast, but I feel like there's a better way to do that. Well, first of all, I can copy ID. That's like number one, so I can just hit paste. That's a lot faster. Just make sure I'm not missing any of these. Yeah, so this happens so often in this file. I can just, you know, scroll through and have it happen. Like, come across them. Have what happen exactly? I can come across the function call that I'm looking for. So it's so prevalent in this file. And all these are game specific and not for both of them. As to where the first few, it seemed like they were all for both players of both games. Man, I am so tired. Like, I swear I can't wait to go to sleep tonight. I say that, and I probably like I'll go to sleep not early like I wanted to, and be tired again tomorrow. It's usually what happens. Like, oh man, I'm so tired. I'm ready to go to bed. And then when it comes time for like to go to sleep, I'm running behind on this, that, and the other, and I gotta finish cooking or whatever. You know, some shit that I forgot to do or feel like I need to do before the day's over. Bad time management. I get really worn out from my job. Working at UPS, I would not recommend it. Don't work at UPS. It's a very draining job. It will make you exhausted as a human being working there. Even on the quote-unquote easy days, it's still not worth it by any standard. Not at all. But it's a great company, honestly. Yeah, it's a great company, but preferably I would rather not work there. It's a great company though, overall, honestly. Just, you know, I do love my job, but you know, it can be very draining. Working for any shipping company is very difficult. They're very physically demanding. So there's a lot of instances of this. I'm pretty sure I could have done this a better way. But it's too late now. Like, this is I have chosen my path. That's what I tell myself, you know, like if I think about changing my mind and rerouting my life, I'm like, no man, I chose my path. This is it. Like, I made my choice. I'm 33. I'm not like 20 anymore. I made my choice. Follow through with it. Get it, you know, get her done. As he would say. Good luck. You'll need it. Alright, all these 4 stars are from when these are old review markers. That lets me know that I reviewed the line at hand, but I don't use the 4 anymore because that's from such a long time ago. I used 2. So if I see a 4-star stamp of approval, that means it's old and it doesn't, like, you can't go off of that approval anymore. It's been so long. You know what I mean? It's an antiquated validation of the code at hand. Man, I can see it in my eyes. I'm getting old. Like, I'm just old and tired. I feel like an old man. I see myself and I look at my eyes and I'm just like, God damn. I'm looking like a year older every week, dude. I'm telling you, bro. Every month is a year in my eyes. Saw myself and I'm like, man, I'm starting to look a little rough, dude. I don't look like a spring chicken anymore, that's for sure. 5 years ago, I could have, like, you know, I could have told you that I was 20 when I was 28, 29, and you would have believed me. But now that I'm 33, there's no hiding it, dude. I look 33. You know what I mean? My age finally caught up with me. God damn, like is there not a better way to do this? Watch like I'm doing it wrong and it doesn't work. That would be kind of funny if I was just like that much of an idiot to have gone through what, like 50 instances and it's like, couldn't I just reduce all this code to just no code? Because less code is better. I'm just like, honestly, who puts I put a 4-star and then a double star after it. Man, kudos to me for being that bold. Hopefully that was an accident. Jesus, I mean, geez Louise, that's a lot of instances of the this function. This is a very prevalent function. Oh, here we go. This is the first time we saw this in a while. Like, well, I was gonna say, couldn't I just refactor this to where we just say like one or both, but like sometimes it's other game or whatever, so. See, like right here, this is for other game. Oh, that one's different. That one's uses both, but in a different. And this one does the same thing. Sort of strange. I mean, does it matter? Maybe it does. I don't know. Uh-oh. I skipped one, I think, yeah. Oh, well, if I skipped that one, that means I skipped more. Oh, wow, we did it. That was it. We made it. So now let's just review and see what we got going on here. Alright, so now we pass 1 or 2 instead of P1 game or P2 game. And then we pass game ID in many of these places. Alright, just making sure that I did it all correctly. Game ID. The other game ID. Game ID. Yep. So this is all correct so far. So I can do this faster. I can go down, and then if I can't see it, like this one, I can just do Control 1 end, and then I can go back to Control Shift F. But that doesn't actually work, so never mind. That's why they say to keep your, like, after a certain point you create a new line so you don't have to do what I'm doing. But since I'm dumb and I like everything to be on one line, I just don't follow that rule to my own at my own expense. So it takes longer. It's kind of like obsessive compulsive disorder type thing. Somebody kill me, please. Having to do this over and over is, man, it's not fun. I'll tell you that much. But I tried to do it quicker without clicking, and it doesn't like go back to the same spot on the search. It goes to a completely new search. Can I just? No, I can't. I know there is a quicker way. Like, there's a senior out there that would be like, dude, you do it like this, like, you know. Like, God, are they all multi-lines? Fuck, man. I mean, all like past the edge of the screen. Apparently, like 8 out of 10 of them are. Bro, they all are like super, like all of them. Why are they so long? Why? Oh my God. They all are. Every, like, it's insanity. There we go. Christ, man. You know how much longer it takes to do it that way? Bruh. Thank you. There, we did it. Man, that was a task. Okay, now we just go back to the top, and we're gonna now at the beginning of the function we have to say if game object 1 ID is equal to 1, then game object, I'm an idiot. I'm dumb as fuck, dog. I'm not smart, that's all. Anyway, life goes on. Even when you're dumb, continues. Does not stop for you. Let's go to 2. It's P2 game. There we go. And then now all these places where I put game object 1 ID. Wait. Okay, I'm fucking up here. I'm really tired. That's bad code. So we have game object 1 ID and game object 2 ID. If game object ID is equal to 1, then game object 1 equals P1 game, and then we'll say else game object. Well, we still call it game object 1, but it would be equal to P2 game. And then we have if game object 2 ID is not equal to none, then we say game object 2. Well, we do the same thing. We say if game object 2 ID is equal to 1, game object 2 equals P1 game, else game object 2 equals P2 game. And then why did that? It messes up the indentation. It just like it can't not mess up the indentation. Can't. So let's review here. We have the progression text assign function. Let's look at the comment first. So we have created 423 params is game 1 is a game. This is not right anymore. I thought we fixed that. Apparently not. Game object 1 equals game object. Dude, I totally did. Game object's ID. Like I did this already. Did I not do this? Like, am I smoking? What am I smoking here that I... Game objects. We have game object 2 ID equals game object's ID. So game object 1 ID is equal to game object's ID. Game, and we'll just say this as the first game object's ID, and game object 2 ID is equal to the second game object's ID. String is string to be set as the progression text, and then we have the second game object is default to none. So that options can be changed for only 1 game object instead of 2. Changes the game.progression text for each game object arg to the string arg. So now we have progression text assign function takes in string. String should be first, obviously, since it's the first one. It's stupid. If it's first, you put it first in the comment. That's just common sense, my dude. Okay, you can just turn it off. Alright, so now we have progression text assign function takes string game object 1 ID and game object 2 ID, which is default to none. If game object 1 ID is equal to 1, then the game object 1 equals P1 game, else game object 1 equals P2 game, and then we say game object 1 dot progression text is equal to string, and then if game object 2 ID is not equal to none, then we say if game object 2 ID is equal to 1, then game object 2 is equal to P1 game, else game object 2 is equal to P2 game. So if the game object ID is not equal to none, and it's like, let's just say equal to 2, it's gonna assign game object 2 to P2 game. Then it's going to set the game object 2 progression text to string. Why do we have string? Why is that? Why is it string? There's no way it was always string. What? It was string. Like right now, I'm gonna call you a liar. There's no way. How? Bro. Literally? No way. There's no way that this was set to string. I'm just gonna say that's a lie. There's no way. Oh, we did. We changed it over here. Why wasn't it changing it? I don't want to talk about it. I don't care. Let's go back over here. So let's see if this worked, and see if we fucked anything up here. Oh, something's wrong. No? Okay, maybe not. Jump the gun there. Yeah, so it works. Looks like we actually fixed it. It's cool. We didn't mess it up. And so let's look more for game object, see if there's another instance. I don't think there's gonna be any more, but we're on the wrong here. We need to go back inside first. That's where I made the mistake when I was refactoring. Okay, so all this, we took care of this already. Same thing with all this stuff. Data transfer function. This is not for a function. This is different. Data transfer. Don't need to worry about that. We have progression. Okay, that's what we just changed. We changed it to be D instead. Now look, we have another one where. Wait, what? We changed the comment for enter continue text. Okay, so now we have to do the same thing with enter continue text active. Yeah. So I see what I did. I was being sloppy and so we have to do the exact same thing we just did, but with a new function. And I gotta use the restroom real quick. I'll be right back. Alright, back. Okay, let's continue. Params game and object ID, blah 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 blah. Game object to ID. So yeah, we have to just do the same exact code right here. Because this is basically the same thing. So we do if game object 1 ID is equal to 1, game object 1 equals p1 game, else game object 1 equals p2 game, and then game object 1 seems to be changed to just game object 1, not game object 1 ID, and then if game object 2 ID is equal to none. Okay, so if game object 2 is equal to none, meaning there's only one arg passed, then we say, well, game object 1, this should be just game object ID, object 1, not with the ID. And then we just pass else. So our two game objects pass to the function, then we say game object ID is equal to none, so So then in this case we would say else. So then we would check the game object, assign the game object to. So if there are two game objects, if game object 2 ID is equal to 1, in this case we'd say game object 2 equals p1 game, else if it is 2, then the game object 2 equals p2 game, then we would say game object 2 enter continue text active true, and then we say while game object 1 enter continue text active is equal to true, and while or game object 2 enter continue text active is equal to true, we would pass. Okay, yeah, so fair enough. And then now we just have to do it for all the instances of enter continue text active, just like we did before. Oh man. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, first of all, I'm closing this, and then I'm actually gonna zoom out. Can't zoom out. How do you zoom out? No. Is it not control scroll wheel? Apparently it's not. Okay. If you say so. I always thought that where is font size? Align panel, center. Hold up. Move primary sidebar left. Bro. Is this the thing that I had been... Oh, no, it's not. I got excited for a second. I got excited for a second, I'm sorry. Word wrap. We just turned word wrap on. It's that simple, dude. So instead of fixing all of my long one-liners, I just put word wrap on. And now I can actually read them all. That's pretty revolutionary, right? Yeah. Problem solved. Look how easy that was. Alright, so now we can just do control one. How is that the first one if... Oh, because it's not, because I wasn't scrolled to the top. Because this bar is basically invisible. I don't know how that happened. Don't expect me to know how things happen. They just do. So we're gonna pass the game object, and we're basically just gonna do this .id thing again. So we're doing the exact same thing. So now I have more experience, and it should go a little faster. Do that shit, cuh. Do that shit, cuh. So I'm starting to wake back up. It's a weird thing. I think it's because I work. It's called a shift work sleep disorder, and I actually have medication for it. And I both love and hate the medication because sometimes it works really well for me when I'm really tired, and then other times it just like makes me feel very strange and have like anxiety. It's kind of like Adderall, but it's not Adderall. It's armodafinil, and I really had quit taking it for a long time, and I started just recently taking it again every now and then, like the past couple weeks or so, or like just a week or two. And sometimes it's like great, it does exactly what I want it to do, and I don't think you're supposed to mix it with caffeine, and I do, so that's like, it's probably my own fault. I probably should just not mix it with caffeine. But like my mentality is like, I feel like caffeine is quote unquote safer, so I'm like, I'll just do a tiny little bit of my medication and then like stack caffeine on top of it to, you know, minimize like using this prescription medication. But I think it has like a negative effect. I think if I just chose one or the other, I would be better off. Like, I'm kind of just scared to do my prescription medication though, because I used it for a few months in the past. I only ever used it for a couple months, you know, like I've only been prescribed it for like a year, but I really only used it for a couple months. And I was drinking coffee then too, so like, you know, I'm just dumb in general and I make bad decisions, so I need to just make better decisions. And so if I take my medication, don't drink coffee. If I have taken caffeine, then don't take my medication. It's really simple. Just pick one. Sometimes coffee works for me, and sometimes it doesn't. I don't know why. It's very strange. Just sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I'm sure you're like that if you drink coffee, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes you drink it and you're like, let's go, and you got this energy and you're like, yes, it worked. And then you drink like 3 coffees and you're still like dead inside, and you're just like, why? You know? So that's one of my biggest problems in life, I think, is just being tired, dealing with being tired. Yeah, just dealing with being tired all the time, lots of the time. Tired when I code, and then like, you know, when I'm not tired, it's kind of like when I don't need to be not tired, you know? Like I could be tired when I'm not tired, but when I am tired, it's when I need to not be tired. Like when I'm programming, I'm usually tired when I'm programming. I need to not be tired when I'm programming. It's like the in-between times when I need to be not tired that I am tired. It's like a paradox, like a law of like haha. It's there when you don't need it, but when you need it, it's not there. Very strange. This is probably mostly just my perception, and that's probably not true. I'm probably just feeling that way because I'm tired. Hopefully I'm doing this right, and I'm pretty sure there's a better way. This one isn't quite as prevalent as the other function, but it's prevalent enough for me to feel like just scrolling instead of going back and forth with the click is about as good as any method that I would be able to discover to do it like robotically, just hopping from one instance to the next. And I'm also pretty sure, well, no, because we don't want to assume the which game we're referring to first or second, you know. I was gonna say we could probably do a quick edit to the logic of that function's definition so that we would always just have either one game or two games, and if we had one, then we would just set p1 game to game object 1. But I think that if there's at least one instance where sometimes the first game object is actually p2 game, then it would mess up, it would cause a bug at that point in time, you know. And then I would be wondering months down the line when I'm testing that part of the game, like, why? And who knows, it might end up being really hard to debug. So let's see if I did this correctly. I have a feeling I didn't, but I am slowly losing confidence in my abilities, so I think it's just perception. I think I perform better than what I think I do sometimes. And looks like, I mean, that was pretty hard to mess up though, if I'm honest. Pretty simple refactor. That's about as simple as they get, honestly. One file, exactly the same thing every time. Single app in ID. You gotta be proud of yourself sometimes though, right? I can sweep the floor, you know, and I can get that right. Yeah, I can sweep the floor, dude. I can do that without making a mistake. Play cards, my dude. And look at that, I can just feel the performance increase. It's all in my head, but I don't know, I think it is a little bit more performant when like, we're passing IDs instead of objects. I know there's more overhead with passing an object instead of the ID. How much difference? I don't know. That depends. So yeah, it looks like everything there worked, and we're done with our hour. So we did make some progress. We can go open up things to do. There's 20 seconds left, and we don't want to look at reminders. So game object versus ID, and we'll put stopped after what was the one we just did? Enter continue text active. Yeah, enter continue text function. So there goes my timer. Whoa. Enter continue text function. Refactor. Continues. Continue project search for game object. Picking up there. Picking up after that in the search results. That was a little bit vague wording. I need to make sure that gets my attention. Alright, so let's go over to devlog and we'll just put what we did. What did I just do, man? So I'm still getting used to this keyboard, as you can tell. Alright, and why is there, it seems like there's more spaces between this. I just want there to be 2 spaces between that. And it always seems like that is increasing by 1, like every day I work on the project. So 510 to 609, we finish, well, we began refactoring sections of code wherein we were passing in entire game objects instead of the ID. Stopped, or we'll just put C line number 16 in things to do dot text. So number 16 things to do dot text. Okay, yeah, so that was pretty good progress. Now we're gonna stage, commit, and push our changes from the day to the remote repository. We'll finish our devlog here at 6:12. So we went from 5 to 6:12, which was actually 4:59. Who cares? So it's 1.25 hours. We'll give ourselves a couple extra seconds, minutes, 2 minutes, stealing time. And now we'll cd to the root of the project directory, which we have. We'll do git branch to see what branch we're on. We are on the correct branch, so we do git add, and we added everything. Now we do git commit -m double quotes, paste in our devlog, double quotes to close it. Successfully committed, 9 files changes, 294 insertions, 292 deletions, which means we only changed added 2 lines of code. Alright, now we do git push Canasta secondary. That's because we refactored code. We didn't make code. Alright, there we go. We pushed and it did it successfully. So now we're going to go to programming. We're going to projects into Canasta. We're going to copy this one back up. We're going to delete the old one. In the new one, 5 seconds. We're gonna enter into it. We're gonna look at dev text. We're gonna look at devlog. We're gonna go here and find the date. The date is correct. Now we go back and change the folder to reflect the last time it was locally updated, which was today. And that's it, guys. I'll see you next time. Safe, have a evening, and probably won't see you tomorrow because I'm going vibration monitoring, which I really don't do because it's all the way in New Orleans. New Orleans anymore. I don't like to New Orleans, but I need the money at UPS. Do that. Have a good evening. See ya probably day after tomorrow, if that. Peace.